Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori Brame and this is Holy City Mystic. Today we are going to be talking about the Yod apex in the 8th house. I'm assuming if you got to this video, you already know what a Yod is and how to find one. If you don't, I will definitely drop the link below. I have a whole video talking about how to find it, what it looks like, the meaning behind a Yod. So definitely check that out if you want further information. But right now I'm just going through a series with the apex in the different houses. I am using whole sign just because it's easier, and if you have a different quadrant-based house system like Placidus or Coke, depending on your longitude and latitude, you might have a Yod that is perfectly quincunxed, but it's actually only 2 houses away or something like that. So if you use a different house system naturally, you can always go back and look at the different bases in the different videos, because in the title I talk about what the apex is and then what the different bases are. So without further ado, let's talk about your Yod apex in the 8th house. So if your Yod apex is in the 8th house, you are going to have 2 bases, one in the 1st house and one in the 3rd house. So your 8th house is other people's things. So other people's money. It can be bills that you owe, it can be inheritances, it can be secrets, so like things that you have to keep from other people, debt, taxes, all that stuff. Also sex is another big one that is an 8th house topic. The 1st house has to do with your appearance, yourself, your initial personality. The 3rd house has to do with communication, education, short distance travel, siblings, stuff like that. So if you put all this together, your apex in the 8th house means there is a primary focus. So you cannot get away from 8th house topics. So it can be sex, debt, secrets, investigation, taxes, anything like that. There is a pull towards it and also some kind of repellent where it's like, this is uncomfortable, but I can't not look at it. This is something that I am pushed towards constantly, but I don't naturally like it. I don't enjoy this. So the 2 things, the 2 bases that are shooting energy into it, yourself and your appearance, and then your communication and education. So for this example, have you guys ever seen the movie Legally Blonde? You probably know what it is, even if you haven't seen it. But basically, it's Reese Witherspoon, who is like all pink and, you know, just a sorority chick and like all this stuff. She goes to school to be a lawyer, and the movie is her practicing law. The way she talks is like shrill, that really ditzy, like dumb, pretty girl type of speech. And then also how she looks, like she's dressed in pink suits, and she always has her hair done, and she has this little dog that she like carries around everywhere as an accessory. But what she is doing is law, which is a very 8th house thing, where you're prosecuting or you're investigating, like you're getting to the bottom of something, which is a very Plutonian Mars thing, which is the 8th house. So it's like her looks and her communication are kind of a deterrent. They're like getting in the way of her being an 8th house person. But that is her goal. That is what she is pushed towards. And so because she had to work extra hard, she turns into an amazing lawyer, because 3rd house communication and her 1st house, how she looks, the self, all that is holding her back. So she had to work twice as hard to be able to become this amazing lawyer. So because the 1st house can be several different things, and the 3rd house can be several different things, and the 8th house can be several different things, this analogy might not apply to you at all. It will be something similar where there is an 8th house topic that you cannot get away from. So maybe you came from a very conservative background and nobody talked about sex. You can't talk about sex. It's not something we talk about. It is between strictly a man and a woman, and it is strictly within the confines of marriage and all these things, but you grow up and you want to be a sex education teacher, where you go and you talk about safe sex and you talk about it to kids who might be hitting puberty soon, and there's going to be a lot of changes, and you are really passionate about getting this going. However, the education that you were given is a mismatch towards this, because you weren't given very much education to begin with when it comes to these topics, and the education that you were given was very skewed in a very conservative area. And then maybe you also think that it's like kind of against your personality personality. Like maybe you are the type of person that is very private or, you know, very shy or something like that. And then all of a sudden you are talking about one of the most personal, intimate things that can happen to a human being, and you're educating on it. So the purposes of all Yods, I believe, are mastery, extreme giftedness in this certain area. So if you do have a Yod in the 8th house, that is definitely going to be an area where you struggle, persevere, struggle, persevere. Happens over and over again. It's a cycle that you can't get out of, but then it turns into a place of mastery where you're able to give that knowledge back to the world. Maybe you have had tax issues ever since you could apply for taxes, and it just is this thing that you are constantly anxious about. You are constantly irritated by these taxes coming up over and over and over again. But there comes a point where you have seen everything. You know exactly what is coming because you've seen it before. It's happened before. And so you can give that knowledge to other people, and you can say, hey, you know, this is how to avoid this tax, or this is how to prepare for this other tax. You need to be marking this instead of this, you know, different stuff like that. And so if you have a Yod in the 8th house, if you have your Yod apex in the 8th house, I would love to hear any anecdotal stories that you have. I think those are very interesting, and people can always read in the comments and see how this plays out in different areas. So yeah, that's all I got for this one. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you later. Bye.